In the quiet folds of Japan's cities, hidden away from the bustle of main streets and neon lights, lie narrow alleys and forgotten districts that seem to slip between worlds. Here, among the shadows, stand love hotels, places known to many as discreet refuges for fleeting encounters. Yet, beyond their surface as modern sanctuaries of privacy, local whispers speak of deeper mysteries. Some hotels rest upon grounds marked long ago by old shrine seals, ritual symbols once believed to bind restless spirits or contain ancient curses. These boundaries were not set lightly. Japan's landscape is rich with shrines erected to pacify the unseen, to seal away yokai that once roamed freely, mischievous or malevolent forces lurking at twilight and under the watch of waning moons. Folklore remembers that many city outskirts, now home to clusters of love hotels, were once eerie borderlands, places avoided after dark. Tales endure of spirits trapped by shrine curses, lingering between realms. In some forgotten pockets, strange warnings caution passers-by. Do not enter after midnight. Some alleys are said to echo with soft whispers or the distant footsteps of unseen visitors. These eerie stories have woven themselves into the nocturnal fabric surrounding these establishments, reminding us that every place has a story beyond what appears on the surface. Love hotels in Japan have long captured public imagination, not only for their purpose, but also for their uncanny connection to the supernatural. It is not uncommon for old shrines to have been dismantled or abandoned as urban development spread. In the transformation from sacred land to commercial use, some believe the spiritual seals meant to keep certain forces at bay may have weakened. Local legend says that when these seals fade, invisible visits by spirits or yokai can intensify, sometimes manifesting as sudden chills, unexplained noises, or fleeting shadow figures glimpsed at the corner of one's eye. Some versions of these stories claim that the energies tied to love, passion, secrecy, transience, intertwined strangely with the restless nature of spirits that cannot move on. The Love Hotel, a place of fleeting connection and temporary refuge, seems an odd yet fitting crossroads for these unseen visitors. These spaces, marked by patterned walls, dim lighting, and private rooms, can feel suspended in time, separate from the ordinary world, a threshold between the living and something just beyond. While the existence of spirits in love hotels remains a matter of belief rather than proof, these local narratives enrich the night with an ancient feeling. The belief was not proof, but it shaped how people saw such places, not merely as venues of romance or secrecy, but as subtle reminders of Japan's deep relationship with the spiritual realm. In the stillness of these hidden districts, where the hum of the city fades away, the boundary between the natural and supernatural seems thin. Here, the modern and the ancient coexist, and for some, the Love Hotel is more than a building. It is a quiet gateway to the shadows of forgotten legends and the restless spirits that linger just out of sight. Throughout Japan's history, the complex relationship between love, secrecy, and the supernatural has left subtle imprints on the spaces people inhabit. The modern Love Hotel, designed for privacy amid urban anonymity, rests atop these layered cultural memories. Historically, sites now hosting such establishments were often considered liminal spaces, where the veil between the living and the spirit world thinned. These were places of transition, both physical and spiritual, where sacred taboos around sexuality and desire intertwined with fears of restless spirits and yokai. In rural Japan, many communities regarded intimate relations as actions with spiritual consequences, a belief echoed in shrine rituals and village customs meant to protect against curses born of broken promises or forbidden unions. As cities expanded and traditional beliefs encountered modern lifestyles, attitudes toward love and sexuality shifted. The discreet privacy the Love Hotel offered appealed to a society navigating changing moral codes, all under the watchful layers of older superstitions. Some local stories suggest that when a Love Hotel was built where a shrine once stood or near a place marked by spiritual protection, The original intention of sealing or pacifying spirits was disrupted. The weakening of these spiritual boundaries, according to folklore, invited increased supernatural activity. Patrons and staff have reported feelings of unseen presences, sudden drops in temperature, or brief glimpses of shadowy figures in corners of rooms. Phenomena often linked to the restless energy dwelling in these forgotten thresholds. In several urban legends, the transient nature of love hotel visitors echoes the restless state of certain spirits. Both are seen as wandering, fleeting presences passing through a place not meant to cradle permanence. Some versions of these tales claim that spirits tied to broken or unfulfilled desires rise during the late hours, their whispers blending with the hum of city nightlife. In response, some hotels have incorporated protective charms or rituals, sometimes quietly requested by staff familiar with the local stories, or in places where management respects the unseen balance between business and the spirit realm. Such measures might include small amulets placed inconspicuously near entrances, or blessings conducted by local shrine priests to ward off disturbances, maintaining an intangible peace. The incorporation of shrine-related rituals into these modern spaces reflects a broader cultural tendency to negotiate with the unseen rather than deny it. While faith in yokai and spirits might have shifted over time, the impulse to acknowledge and respect forces beyond human control endures. Locals often speak of certain love hotels as being haunted not with fear, but with a subtle reverence for the boundaries between worlds. This delicate balance between the sacred and the profane, the mixing of desire and taboo, life and death, presence and absence, forms the foundation of countless whispered stories surrounding these establishments. Furthermore, some neighborhoods known for clusters of love hotels have underlying legends of vanished travelers or sudden disappearances, stories that entwine with the haunting atmosphere. Though not historically documented, these mysteries add to the enigmatic aura, emphasizing the enduring Japanese cultural motif that certain spaces are crossroads of fate and spirit. The boundary between fact and folklore surrounding Japan's love hotels remains a place of delicate uncertainty, much like the very spirits said to linger there. These establishments live in a liminal space, not only physically tucked away in shadows between city streets, but also culturally, caught between ancient beliefs and the rhythms of modern life. While no concrete evidence proves the presence of yokai or restless spirits within these walls, the persistence of such stories reveals much about how Japanese society continues to negotiate the invisible forces woven into everyday existence. Local legends suggest that love hotels are far more than mere locations for fleeting encounters. They're subtle reminders of the mysteries hidden beneath the veneer of urban living. These buildings, sometimes erected on sites once sacred or sealed by shrine rituals, carry echoes of a past where boundaries between the seen and unseen were respected and feared. The fading of ritual protections, whether by choice or simply through change over time, invites an unsettling quiet, the possibility that the spirits once contained might still wander, unnoticed and unresolved. The narratives around these places, told in hushed tones or passed along as murmurs after midnight, tap into deeper cultural anxieties about intimacy, secrecy, and transgression. In a society where public and private behaviors are often carefully regulated, love hotels become a powerful symbol of hidden desires and the spaces they require. The yokai and spirits attributed to these spaces embody unspoken fears, not only of the supernatural, but of emotional exposure and social taboo. This tension between exposure and concealment mirrors the ancient worldview that human actions resonate beyond the physical realm. Desire, especially when expressed in secrecy or defiance of community norms, was traditionally believed to possess spiritual consequences. Such beliefs may help explain why modern love hotels, with their transient visitors and private rooms, evoke images of restless spirits caught between worlds, both living and dead, both visible and unseen. The continued presence of these stories invites reflection on how contemporary Japan wrestles with its layered identity. While urbanization has changed the landscape dramatically, it has not erased the old fears and hopes entwined with places now defined differently. Love hotels exist as modern sanctuaries of anonymity, yet they are haunted by cultural memory, by the past silhouettes that linger in dim corridors and softly lit rooms. Some scholars and locals alike see the tales as more than superstition. They are expressions of a collective grappling with intimacy, privacy, and the often invisible social forces that shape human connection. The folklore around love hotels echoes a universal human concern: how to hold the seen and unseen in balance, how to respect both desire and the deeper spiritual echoes it might awaken. In the end, these whispered legends of spirits and shadows within love hotels reveal a uniquely Japanese intersection, where love and taboo meet the sacred and the profane, where modernity collides gently with age-old myths, and where every quiet room might be a gateway to the secret world of yokai, waiting just beyond the veil.